Oh, it's still spinning one. That's pinwheeling. Oh, okay. There we go. Pinwheel City. There we go. It's fixed. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing out there? That's great. That's great. That's great. Welcome to the show. I'm gonna shut up now and let Meredith and the Indie Princess take it over. Go ahead.
Indie Princess, you want this or you want me to take the mic first?
She said, "Go ahead, you go first."
You're on mute.
she said, "Go ahead, you go first." Yeah, I don't know if she noticed she was on mute. There. Oh, she's trying to set her profile to public.
Oh, okay. All right. So, you guys, I am Meredith Loughran. I am the associate editor over at Geek Insider, as well as the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast. It is a pleasure to sit here and co-chair with Lola until she fully takes over the mic, and then we can get rid of these guys underneath us here. But I am also one of the founding five of Terraform Comics, and we've got a lot of stuff that's happening. I've got a crowdfund that's going on right now at Kickstarter. It's called the Compendium of Dread. It is an anthology of dark fiction. So it's not all horror. There's crime, there's paranormal, there's all kinds of really cool, warped, and creepy stuff that's in there. And the really cool thing about the comic book connection is that there are a few stories in there that I've already scripted out. There's one story called The Dying that's already got 8 pages of art. So you get to see that journey of prose and what it's going to look like in comic books coming down the pipe. So I'm really excited about that. That's over at Kickstarter. And
we'll bring that up in a little bit.
So yeah, and so I am not the Indie Princess. The Indie Princess is here. We're so glad she's here with her shoe cam.
I made it. Yeah. I feel like crap, but I'm here. Whatever this virus is, I can't get over it. But hopefully soon I will. But yeah, I am the Indie Princess, and I am the host of Geekgasm. And I also co-owned Last Call Comics with Varian, my husband. As he pouts. I run most of it. And I also run Indie Volt Radio. You guys need to go check that out. It's free.
And you're the editor-in-chief over at Indie Volt.
IndieVolt.com. Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. And anybody who's listening in, there is a way to tip Miss Lola. You go to streamlabs.com/indievolt/tips. Mama needs some shoes.
I posted the link of the tip jar in the chat. Also, I posted the link to my wish list if you just want to buy shoes directly for me.
Shoes. Hey, me and Randy will like shoes. You could.
Yeah, you're not going to be on a shoe cam.
You could tip.
Nobody would tip your shoe cam.
No, they wouldn't. They're like, I don't like Adidas. What are you wearing? Adidas and DC shoes.
Like, I'll throw $1 at you to put your shoes back on. You know, just please don't do that.
look, just tip me and Randy sandwiches. Let's tip us sandwiches. We'll be fine.
I work for food.
Yeah, see that, man? It's like, wait a minute. Food seems like a. What are we talking about now? Hello, everybody. My name is Varian Grant, founder of Indie Volt Media LLC. Started making comics in 2008. I am a comic artist, publisher, writer. I said another word last night. Apparently, that was a no-no. And yeah. I'm a comic book lover.
Oh, okay.
Remember the other? Yeah. I thought I could say that and get away with it, and apparently I cannot. So yeah, I was actually wrote this morning a nice little thing that it triggered someone. Yeah.
What word was it?
The M word.
Oh.
I triggered someone.
Nerf herder?
No, M word.
Oh, M.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When I said what I do to comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that triggered someone. So I won't say that anymore. I'm sorry.
It's like the animal I have in my side yard.
Did you mention Liberty?
Oh,
no, I didn't mention Liberty, but trust me, that's been the topic of the day. Liberty Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group is something else that I founded. We distribute independent comics, get them in the stores, and then as Last Call Comics, like Lola mentioned. Good times, good stuff. I am here with also Randy Zimmerman joining us. Hello, Randy.
Hey there. Hey there, everybody. I'm Randy Zimmerman. I am a alternative and independent comics creator, publisher. I've done everything in the comic market that you can imagine, and then some for many years. Been doing this for quite a while, freelanced for quite a while, retailed for quite a while, organized conventions for a little while, last decade or so. And I'm also an award-winning commercial and sequential artist. My main specialty now is sequential art for advertising and education, which comes in real handy and pays a little better than the mainstream does.
I don't know if anybody knows this, but I did a class with Randy. Randy, myself, and Eric Hodge and Dreaded Dinosaur, I convinced and conned those guys into coming to my son's school for an art class, teach the kids about comic book art. And so we went into school, and my son waited until the day before that to get suspended, to get in a fight. So the principal was cautious. You can bring him with you, but he can't come to school that day. So it's very weird. It's very weird. But we get to the school, and it was really cool to watch Randy teach, because Randy and Eric both have teaching experience.
Yeah,
I do not. I barely have parenting experience, and the boy was 9, and 8 or 9 at that point. So I'm like, look, all of you little Neanderthals, sit down, shut up. I'm trying to teach you something. But to watch Randy transform, and I've always wanted to ask you about that, Randy. Do you slip into that mode depending on what grade you're teaching or you're talking to, or is it the same across the board?
It took a while to get used to. A lot of times you're dealing with different crowds depending upon the area, the type of school that you're in, and how well people are willing to listen. Because I've had classes that have been nothing but glorified babysitting, where you're just hoping that kids would sit in their seat and maybe draw a circle if you were lucky. And other classes where I've got kids raising hands, asking all sorts of crazy questions, and we're sitting there drawing, like mad people. There was one school that I taught at about 4 or 5 years in a row, and I had the same kid in the class, and he used to drive me crazy because he was a class clown and troublemaker, and I you got to watch kids like that, because it only takes one troublemaker to disrupt the entire class, entire hour. And about the third or fourth time he was in the class, I'm like, oh no, not this kid again. And then it was as if during the summer, some light bulb went off in his head, and he turned from being a really irritating class clown kid to a real eager, wanting to learn kid. It's like he sat down with a pencil and piece of paper and figured out, oh, what Mr. Zimmerman says is right. All I got to do is draw a few circles and some curved lines, and I could make up my own characters. It's pretty cool. So he was bringing in comic pages after a while. It was pretty cool.
And that kid grew up to be me. That's what he didn't take notice in.
It's always great to see that light bulb go off, and you do see it every once in a while. It makes teaching rewarding. But I've been doing after school classes since about 2004.
Yeah, and Dreaded Dinosaur too. He's got the teaching background. Let me go over here. Cameron Christopher Payne says hello. Cameron.
Hello.
Brian Renard.
Real quick, and then we'll get to the comments.
What is that, Lola?
Hit the intro first, and then we'll get to the comments.
You're right. I'm sorry. You have control too. Here we go. So yeah.
Before we start, I want to make an announcement so everybody knows there will be no politics in the chat tonight. If you are talking about politics, I will boot you from the chat. Just so everybody knows, that's your one and only warning. Sorry if you tune in late. No politics. Absolutely nothing. I don't want to hear it.
All right. Fair enough.
Now let's get to the comments.
Okay, now I'll do the comments.
Yeah.
So Brian says, a man of many talents. Yeah. That's I don't know, me or Randy.
He's referring to you.
Yeah. And I have a comment. What is a no? The M word. Yeah, that word. Yeah, that word. That's what I said the other night. And
rhymes with Chester.
Yeah. William says, what the F? A foot cam? It's a shoe cam.
It's not a foot cam. It's a shoe cam to show off all my cool heels, which you can donate to. Or go to my Amazon wish list and buy me a pair.
They don't light up tonight. They don't light up.
Yeah.
No, it's a different pair. I try
Presented
to
by
change it up.
presented. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I try to change it up every once in a while.
Shoe cam presented by our friends at IndieCron.
That's right.
Thank you very much, IndieCron. You guys go check out IndieCron also.
The Sunday Herbal Comics present Buzzing Comics of Varian. Hail Chat says Heroinberg. Pretty crazy day, folks. Everybody feeling okay as we are. We are here to talk about comics, and that makes us feel good. That's why you escaped.
And I have whiskey in my coffee, so we're good.
Hey. That's me. It takes one guy to chat to disrupt the entire show. I made it, Mom. Yeah, and that kid was Jim Lee, says Niobe Comics for you, Randy.
Oh, yeah. If only. Yeah, no. I hope he turns out to be, somebody big, but he's still a little young yet.
Yeah, it was Comic-Con says. Thank you. Nita says, hello, everybody. Thinking to watch you guys. Hello, Nita. You're welcome in, Nita, if you want to come in. Trish Bingston says, hey, y'all. Hello, Trish. Hello. So, yeah.
Us guys aren't supposed to be here at all.
No. But I'm glad we are here because I did have 3 questions came in late on Indie Vote Radio last night. And they came in, and one of them was really good. And I kind of felt bad that it came at the end of the show, but it was a very good question. I think everybody was kind of taken by it. Where a guy said, "Hey, how do I?" There's a lot of people with shows, and a lot of people who are, how do I get through and cut through the people who are making shows that have no experience with comics or no experience with the industry versus people who do. And we had another guy who wrote in that he had paid $100 to be on the show in about 2 weeks now. He's paying to go on the show, and the show YouTube shit has 29 subscribers. Look, shame. Shame. Yeah, shame. The thing is, more questions came in related to that. One from the same person, and I'm going to read one of them right now. And this is one of the issues that I have with YouTube, Facebook, comic book shows where they talk to talent is that some hosts make it more about them. Their names in the title of the show. Their shows are quick and framed around their product rather than the people they have on. And his next statement says, honestly, I think 2020 may have been a curse for comics even more than a blessing because so many people ran online who created shows. Some of these shows are only there to stroke egos and possibly secure free tables at events should things return to normal in the near future. I guess commenting on that, yeah, I mean, look, we all went online because it's safe, and to how else could I?
I'm sorry, but we all went online because there was nowhere else to go.
Right. Yeah, there's nowhere else to go. So we started doing our shows. Indie Vault's been around since before the pandemic. Geek Inside has been around long before the pandemic. Same with other shows, C&W. Just there's a lot of people who were doing this before shows started. Before the pandemic started. And we're reporting from shows. We did a report from Wizard World. I had Eric Dreaded Dinosaur Hudson and Josh Limore at Wizard World Chicago, I believe it was. And I was talking to them while they were at the show live, here on Free. It was rather hard. It was difficult because we were learning our way through things at that point. But I gotta tell you, there are people who look, just because you put your name in the show doesn't mean you have a bad show. I mean, if I decide to call, there is a place called Varian with T Comics, and I love their logo. If I called my, Variant Comics, that would be funny, and it's not me putting myself before the product or the person that's on the show. But if I had, Varian Grant Presents, and I'm a nobody, that might be a problem. Because, I mean, we've had, very early on in the show, we had Hart Fisher on, who, if you know indie comics, you know who Hart Fisher is. I I always felt that helped the show because it gave us some legitimacy. Meredith has sat in the same room with one of my girlfriends, Jordana Brewster, and didn't invite me to the show, didn't invite me on, Geek Insider at the time, so I can fall on over or anything. She was right. She was smart. She knew what she was doing. But these people elevate you and they elevate the show, and that's great. But they come on there because they know that Meredith and Geek Insider and Matthew have a history and they have a platform. And nothing, you can start a show today and that's great. Start one. But just don't do it trying to climb on the backs of your guests. And I'll shut up now and let Meredith take it. What do you think?
I was going to say there are a lot of people who have launched shows with the idea that they were going to make it big. Maybe they were going to get something that trends. Maybe, they'll grow their platforms and it'll just skyrocket. And, they'll be like YouTube stars and stuff like that. Nobody, unless you're a phenom or it's some freak of nature, nobody is an overnight success. It takes years and years to develop and build your craft, do it well, build your audience and stuff, and it takes dedication and consistency to do that. So, the people who are coming out of the gates and stuff, a lot of people who've been doing it for a while are sitting there going, well, I'm going to support you, but let's wait and see. And anybody who's out there, it's okay to show your own stuff. It really is. There's nothing wrong with self-promotion. People think that that's a bad thing, but if you've got a product or something, it's okay to do that. But if you're going to promote yourself as a show that interviews guests and things, let your guests talk. Give them the light that, the spotlight, so that they can promote themselves and turn their audience hopefully is following them and finding your audience. And that's how you build that organic relationship, and you find those people who will say, hey, this show is new to me. I'm going to hit the subscribe button. And so it's kind of a way to, to scratch each other's backs a little bit, but not at the, to what Varian was saying, not at the cost of your guests. You don't bring somebody on to tear them down unless that's what your show is about. And in which case, then they know what they're walking into. But, to have any kind of gotcha moment or anything, that's not cool either. So it really depends on how you want to brand yourself, your show, and the means to a way. Geek Insider, I started with Geek Insider last November. So I'm still fairly new with them. Matthew was around for 3 years with them. And, together we came up with this idea of having kind of a flagship podcast. And, we've been developing relationships with our guests and things. And we're lining up some really cool guests because they like our style. That's the way it is. Is it Geek Insider? Am I putting my name out there? Hell yeah. Why wouldn't I? I got myself an IMDb, trying to get some credits and things like that, because it's showing that pathway, that it's showing like the genesis of my story and where I started. And so that people can see, it's not fly by night, I'm putting in the work. So, I think that's okay. But again, not at the, not on the backs of others.
And so I will admit that some personalities are very big, so they tend to, they can overshadow the guest. I want to read the comments real quick. Maybe comment says, "There's no cutting the line. Get good or get out. Doing YouTube is a grind, a long, hard grind." And yes, I want my free table. Herrenberg says, "But there are some amazing channels. We just watched Graham Nolan's interview with Michael Gold, and it was like a masterclass." Nita Lanning says, "It really depends on which show you are watching. Quality personalities know how to interview, and those I watch are really good on promoting their guests." Herrenberg also says, "A lot of the interviews we mod on Pop XP are pretty incredible as well, because Frank lines up amazing guests. There are more great channels than ever, including yours. The good stuff is out there." Yeah, look, there are I would want to say this: there are more great channels and great shows than bad, and that's a good thing. There are, though, shows that tend to be a little heavy on, the drama. You can't avoid it. Drama's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. You can't avoid it. I mean, Randy will tell you very early on, we had people who didn't want to be on the show if someone else is gonna be on. If they knew, like, I don't like that person. And I appreciate them telling us.
And we still do every once in a while, even though we explain to them that we're just out to promote good comics. That's our rule. Good comics.
And we usually, if you have a personal problem with that person, let us know.
It's not our problem.
Yeah. I don't, but yeah, I mean, there are people who, we had somebody, a well-known person, come into the chat, and they were going to come into the room and say, "Oh, I was going to come in, but I seen someone else on the show." And this is a person who is in the echelon of comics, pretty high up there.
Yeah.
Versus the person they didn't want to come on for, which is, not at their level at all. And it's like, you're letting.
And really? the word to you, no way in hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we haven't seen him since.
No.
But isn't that basically chopping off your nose to spite your face?
Sometimes, yes.
I mean, if you can't put your differences aside for an hour or two at the most,
we've
had more than one person that didn't let me try to put it nice, that didn't like the video clips that we showed. Oh my God, you showed a video clip of that person. That person's evil. I'm not going to be on your show because that person, I don't want to have nothing to do with that person.
Yeah. You got to remember those clips,
it's like, no, we're here to promote good comics and have some fun.
So, we make jokes. We make jokes all the time. I mean,
but that's your show.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a clown. And I think that people need to lighten up. We're in the industry to entertain. Therefore, the show you're on needs to be entertaining. However, I will say this: there are some guests that have been better than others too. We remember we had a guest on once. I don't know what happened between. They've only been on the show 3 times, and that was very early on. The first time they were on the show, they were great. We wanted them back immediately. The next time they came on, dear goodness, and they've since packed up. They packed up. They're not doing comics anymore.
They're DUN done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just packed up and they haven't been around. Next one from Indie Vote Radio. It is from and this is a question aimed at the females. And is okay. Do you guys feel any added pressure to be extra nice to your customers, being that you are females? Do you feel that you have to exude any more sex appeal or niceties than your male colleagues? Meredith has a sarcastic look on her face already, so I'm going to shut up.
Oh, you want to go first?
No, you go first.
I don't have to be nice to customers if they're not nice to me.
It's not nice to me.
I'm nice to the people that are nice to me. If you come at me and you're nice and you want to have a conversation, we will have that. Of course, I want you to buy my stuff.
Well,
so I'm going to be kind of nice, but I don't have to be extra nice. I don't have to be nicer than a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to sex appeal, I'm the wrong person to ask. Sex sells. So yes, I do flaunt these. But also, even if I didn't want to, I have to wear low-cut shirts anyways for comfortability. So they're out there no matter what. And yeah, guys come up, they talk to me. I push them into buying the product.
But
that's just how it is for me anyways. I don't know about you, Meredith.
Well, there is a certain point though where, like, it's not all about selling to customers. It's like I'll generally talk to anybody, as a male. But then again, I have been flirted with by women because, I mean, let's face it, I'm hot. I've been flirted with by women who,
in front of me,
in front of her, which is great.
It's just payback though, because guys put in front of him all the time with me. So.
Yeah, it happens very rarely when it does happen. Very rarely, but
we have friends that were customers at first that are longtime friends now.
Yeah, now they expect freebies.
Yeah,
Meredith,
even one of our friends, he was started out as a customer, but every show he still buys something. Doesn't matter what it is. He's like, "Oh, I gotta buy from you guys just to help support you."
What do you think, Meredith?
You know, I've always been kind of like one of the guys. You know, I can sit there and laugh at fart jokes. I can talk about cars, but at the same time, I can clean up if I needed to. I mean, if I felt like I wanted to cosplay one of my characters or something like that, it probably wouldn't be all that sexy unless that was the book that I was trying to sell. But I mean, at this point in time, I think maybe ageism kind of gets in there a little bit. I mean, I'm close to 50, so you know, kind of getting into that hot outfit that I could fit into when I was in my 20s is not going to happen, you know. But when it comes to selling things, I never think of it as kind of a gender thing, like whether my gender or sexuality or anything like that really matters. You know, I think it's all about the pitch and how confident you are with your product.
I'll tell you right now. Somebody put a picture up months ago, of this model. She was in her 60s, and she has long gray hair. But when I seen the thumbnail of the picture, I'm like, whoa! Click, brought it up, and I noticed she was older, but I'm still like, you know what? I could.
And I think I see now. I don't know. I know that you've had your booth girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, having been in the restaurant, you know, they have their beer girls. They have, you know, the vodka girls out there in their skimpy things. You go to car shows, and they're always in their bikinis and their little banners and stuff like that. But that hasn't ever affected me. I mean, if anything, I would probably get a couple of booth girls if that was something that my product was kind of leaning towards, but not for the sake of having them, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I'll say this too, and Lola experiences as well. And I had booth girls before I met Lola, but booth girls can be a little bit. My vagina doesn't right, my brain does. Nita, you need to get on here.
Yeah. You need to get in here.
You need to get in this chat. I don't know what. Someone send Nita an invite. Do you want to come in here?
I'll put a link into the chat.
Yeah, Nita, if you want to come in,
send her a link.
Yeah. Send her an invite. Like, Meredith, do you have her?
I do.
Yeah, send her a link. Send her a link.
You want me to put a link in
Well, no, not right now, but yeah, Meredith can send Nita. Link. Yeah. See if she wants to come in. She's more than welcome. I've had booth girls. Go ahead. And my experience with the booth girls has always been at first it was more trouble than it was worth. I had 7 booth girls, and they were all very pretty, but just it was like trying to round them up and get them on the same page started to be a hassle. And then, you know, I did things to, in my opinion, I thought I was protecting them. So, for example, I had this thing where, okay, I'm giving you all fake names. I gave them all company names, though, because we did make a comic using these names for these girls. The characters weren't really based on the girls, but, you know, hey, you'll be this one because you look like this girl. And we had a situation where I will tell these girls, if in fact a guy comes up to you, because look, any of these guys can go, or girls can go buy a camera with their tax return money. I'm a photographer. I want to, here's my card. What's your name? And they get your real name, and that next thing you know, they're calling you at 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, on your personal phone. Somehow they found you. And I had some booth models that looked at me like I was crazy. Why can't I give my real name out? I'm like, well, you can, but it's going to be you will not like it once, you do that. I guarantee you. Well, I want the opportunity this person's giving me. And then 3 weeks later, call me, I need help. This guy won't leave me alone. Well, I told her to give me your real name. I told you to make up a fake real name. But they wouldn't do it. And then, there's the booth girls that I had booth girls attack other ones. I won't say physically attack. They didn't, but try to make sure that this girl didn't work anymore or that girl wasn't going to work anymore. Lola had a period of adjustment. Lola thought, and she might not like me saying this, but I think Lola thought because she was she at the time was the girlfriend that she can get away with a little bit more. And she found out at the con, no, in fact, she had to set the example even more, because if the girls see her getting away with stuff, they were going to try it too. And I'm talking about like they're not your property, but sitting at the table when you're supposed to be there. We had one girl, she came to the show and took off. Started walking around us looking at everything. Like, you're supposed to be at my booth. I mean, what? If you want a break, that's fine. But when I say she was gone, like the show was 6 hours long, she was at my table for 45 minutes, the entire show. But she wanted me to pay her at the end of the day. Don't forget, they're not doing this for free. I'm paying them. Nita says, I can't tonight. See you streaming, and we have to have notice because the kids are batshit crazy. Well, you know what? We want to get you guys on here at some point. Next Wednesday. Well, maybe not next Wednesday. You let Nita, you can ask Meredith. And Meredith, you can book her at some point. I'd like to have Nita see Michael on at some point, or just Nita. I've been back. Probably just Nita, because this show, me and Randy went off really badly. We've been in talks with the producers.
Let us out of here.
Yeah.
Just when you think you can escape, we bring you back in.
It's exactly.
Russell Allen says, "What crazy kids up to? What are you crazy kids up to?" And then Heroinberg says, people sometimes don't comprehend we don't have booth girls because everyone with us at cons is an actress in our show, not as a comic creator herself. Every single one is a creative person. That's true. Grant Lanker says, good evening, guys. Good evening, Grant.
Good evening, Grant.
I do think that the second group of booth girls I had were okay. They were good. But also remember this too. Life happens. Some of those girls, they got married, they career changes, moved away. Yeah, some of them started their families, and some of them have come back. We've had one that she started her family, but then she called us and said, hey, I want to come back for old times, they can do a show. And she did. She did like 3 or 4 shows. And then, she was okay. She scratched that itch and she got out of there. I do want to talk about one thing, Lola. I'm pretty sure that I know you said you want to talk about this. And it's a hold on. Why are all my links not where they're supposed to be?
Did you crazy?
I think I messed up how things are supposed to be set up here. Oh well, okay, I'll find it. All right, Meredith, your book is on Kickstarter. Why did you choose Kickstarter? Was there a particular reason why?
It seemed to be that that's where my community is. So I wanted to kind of give them a heads up that I'm doing this, even though it's prose. Okay, so it's an anthology of dark fiction. So really, no images, no pictures, guys. But the tie-in, what I'm trying to do is, because I have a foot in both worlds, and it's really hard for me to have a split personality when I'm still trying to write the shit that's in my head down on paper as far as stories and stuff. So when I kind of tripped into comic books, that's the joke. I tripped into comic books and the community just basically grabbed me by my shirt and dragged me all the way in. And, just being able to learn as much as I have, to take the knowledge that I've had from previous things, from newspaper publishing and book publishing, and, taking some of those understandings and working them into comic books so that that I don't feel like I'm starting from square one necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And to take prose and marry it with the comic book community and say, hey, this is the goal. This is where I'm going with this, has been really exciting. So Kickstarter just seemed to be the place where maybe a book might not do as well, but if I can tap into the comic books and say, hey, I'm already invested, this book is going to help me get a little bit further with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it seems to be working. I was able to fund in 12 hours, which was amazing. I mean, it blew my socks off. I was actually sick that night to my stomach going, what the hell is wrong with these people? Do they understand that it's not a comic book, And I went through the campaign and I went, okay, it's very clear. It's fiction with that pathway to comics. So I'm hoping.
Michael Williams says, "What's up, Geekgasm?" Hello, Michael. And Manny, I can't pronounce. Is that Thainer? Says, "Hail Niobe Comics." I want to play this video from the from your chat. Here we go. From your chat. From your page. Here we go. Can we hear that or no?
Yeah,
I can.
You're good.
Hello. Can anybody hear me?
That's your voice, Meredith.
Welcome
That's
to the
my voice.
of Dread, an anthology of dark fiction that encompasses crime, horror, and paranormal. Your perceptions of the world around you may forever be changed.
And I think it
Really cool.
Yeah, it's cool, and it was cool to it's very early on I had started you guys know that when I was a kid I was a model, did a couple commercials, and and that's funny, JD, some of us read, Meredith.
Well, my husband's like, there's no pictures in this thing.
But I remember some of the filmmakers that I was hanging out with, especially as I thought, oh, maybe I'll get into filmmaking. I remember a lot of it was really interesting seeing like, and even to this day, some of the filmmakers that I still know and I still associate with, seeing their projects from beginning to end and being a part of it. So, it's really interesting to me to see you come in and, start from being the comic book noob to this point where you've got a successfully funded campaign. Grant asked, how did you determine your minimum?
That was a struggle for me, because if you look at my profile, you'll see that I tried to launch this back in, I want to say, March.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been very open about it. I set that up to fail. I set that Kickstarter up because I'd heard about this new thing. It was new to me. And I went in and I said, okay, let me just figure out what the tools are. And, I have a product, so let me just do this. And it was really half-assed, and it showed. I had six people who supported it, and I think it made maybe $60. And I didn't check it every day. I didn't really care. The reason for that was to just launch something and get used to the tools and see what it looked like behind the scenes, because as a supporter, you don't see all of that stuff. And so it took me from then to now to really study the platform. What works, what doesn't, what are people looking for? And I'll give credit to Rob Anderson and Backer Paws, with as far as stopping the videos, when it loses your attention, what works there. And then looking at successful campaigns and going down the list and going, okay, what do they have? They're showing their rewards, they're showing their stretch goals, they're showing descriptions on what this book is about. Images are important, and making sure that it's not just a wall of text. Having studied all of that, you have your ear to the ground going, okay, what works and what doesn't. And again, because it's not a comic book, I wanted to keep it at kind of that $500 minimum, with the idea that it failed so miserably before that I would be lucky to hit that and forget the stretch goals. Those are just a pipe dream. And I waffled between, 500 and maybe 750. And I said, it's an anthology. I'm told anthologies do shit on Kickstarter. Nobody buys them. Nobody supports them. It's like, okay, so that's strike one. Strike two is, again, not a comic book. And so I kind of went back and forth and I said, you know what? I'd rather have a lower minimum to hit goal, and then I can focus on really marketing this thing, contacting people who, and say thank you, like leaving them personal messages and not just comments, public comments, but sending them a message saying thank you for supporting me, and then staying up with the updates instead of busting my ass to just try and make gold. So, I mean, it's a testament to hard work and research. So definitely go out there if you're putting together a campaign, put in the work.
You know what, and I think I may speak for Randy when I say this as well, but what really impresses me though, Meredith, is that when I look at your campaign too, it's all organized, completely organized, and we've joked about you being the queen of organization. But what speaks to me is this right here. Meredith Loughran, 2 created, 54 projects backed. Mm-hmm. So you've been a part of this industry. You've backed campaigns. You've made dreams come true for people. And, I've seen people. I remember someone launched a campaign and they're, buy our book, back us. And they were wondering, they started noticing no one was backing them. Mm-hmm. And you looked and it says a big fat 0 backed on their campaign, and it's, wait a minute, you never backed anybody's book. Mm-hmm. And that person went out and did a bunch of dollar donations, because unfortunately that counts. I think Kickstarter really needs to, and any other site that does that, they need to figure out a way to streamline that. I don't mind your donation, but I'd rather you back the physical product, because people can get in there and all of a sudden I could be 1,000 backed, that I've and I haven't, I don't think I've backed 54 things on Kickstarter though. I'm probably in the 20s, maybe. I'm not sure.
Well, and the thing is, I don't back projects because I think that they're going to back me.
Right.
It's really not about that. I mean, if you looked at some of the things that I backed, it's, one was a board game, one was a short film. Mm-hmm. Some books, mostly comic books, and I do go for the physical tier because I'm trying that's part of what I study in mm-hmm. order for me to work on my own lettering and just the craft. I want to learn it all. I'm not going to be good at it all. I'm a storyteller. That's what I do. I'm learning scripts. As long as I can convey what I want to an artist, I did my job there. Lettering, I'm lettering the 8 pages of this. Is it going to have mistakes? Absolutely. Can I argue them if I get pushback, and or am I going to be open to the recommendations and stuff? Sure. I mean, I've gone in here with the pages and even moved some of the art so that it could accommodate the words. So, you know, that whole thing, getting the physical copies and being part of that, it's not because of those 54 people that I've backed or those projects. You know, it's not like, oh, now, you know, I backed you, so you have to back me. No, I have no expectation of that at all.
Let's see, what do we have here? Marvin Winston, what's going on? Hey, Marvin, we're just
Marvin.
having another great episode of Geekgasm. Then he says, Varian Grant ukulele action figures. I do. Yeah, recently I just took all like the 6-inch figures and kind of boxed them up and put them away because I run out of space to put them. But yeah, I collect action figures, Hot Toys. This is 12-inch. Everyone else calls them dowels, but you know. Yeah, I do. Trish says, now you all have my attention. Sorry, on the phone. Can we start over? Yeah. And I got to tell you, you know, Meredith, again, the comic book work, you really jumped in here and you know, ate the industry up. Lola, the same with Lola. She's got.
I'm gonna hire Meredith.
I cannot wait to see what you've got, Lola.
I need your help when I start laying out my crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Since the husband isn't going to help me, I need someone to help. And you're very organized, so.
Yeah, I do think.
But I can send you my script if you want to read it over. It's already been sent to the artist, though.
Yeah, cool.
I'm not helping because no. Look, it was hard enough working with her on the script. I don't know if our marriage can survive me actually helping with the campaign.
What are you talking about? You had to take cold showers after you read my script.
Yeah, there was.
Now I really can't wait to read it.
There were deplorable things in that book. I'm gonna be.
But see, everything that you're seeing here, everything is the stuff that I learned as far as formatting. You know, to have the headers, to have different sections that make sense, and really in the campaign, it's that story arc. You know, what is it that you're going to get? What comes with it? What are the stretch goals? Hey, you know, these are the extra things. And so, I mean, that it just made sense.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of campaigns that I've seen that don't do that. It's like a hot mess. I'm like, what is this? And you're scrolling through going, what the hell am I trying to support here? And at that point, it's like, okay, it's a mystery. Maybe I'm just supporting the creator because I like them. And maybe I don't even want the book. You know, that's happened.
Yeah. Brian says, what do you folks think about action figures from small indie publishers?
That'd be cool.
You know what? Here I go. Okay. If the action figures are actually being produced, that's fine. Spread your brand around. I've seen that done very well, and then I've seen that done very poorly. I remember back in like 0405, there was someone just doing repaints of existing figures. And I was
that's not cool.
Yeah, well, I was sitting next to oh gosh, what is his name? I guess he was involved in comics. Hold on. I have to look at the name, but he was that's not him. I can't think of the gentleman's name that I was we worked for Image Comics though. And he was at this point I would stop by people's tables and talk to them, and he was at the table, and or Top Cow was it? But he was there was a guy across from him. I'm like, yeah, that guy has his own action figures. That looks pretty cool. He says, no, that guy has repainted Marvel Legends figures, and he looks like a wannabe. Don't be a wannabe. If you don't have action figures, don't go repaint it as a figure and say, hey, look what I got. And the thing was, he had repainted 5 figures, and then he wanted like $80 per figure. So but this is 2004, 2005, so there weren't 3D printers, and action figures are expensive. I mean, really expensive. Brian says, I priced the custom mold for manufacturing. Yes, it's pricey. I was wondering if you thought it would be worth it. Yeah, if you can get that custom figure, that you actually have the mold for, though, that's a lot better in my opinion than going out and, you know, repainting figures that already exist. Randy, what do you think about that?
I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Action figures it's just another, I wouldn't say tchotchke, but it's another marketing tool, another selling tool. They can be cool at times. All depends on how well they're done.
Meredith?
I think if you can afford it and you feel like it's an investment because you're in for the long game, then it's probably worth it, because if you're looking ahead in the future, those things are going to be like mad collectible. But if it's kind of like an ego thing and you're just kind of trying it out, you might just be throwing money out the window.
And don't get me wrong, I'm someone who would love an action figure of some of my characters.
Mm-hmm.
But I would want it done professionally. I'd want it done right.
Yes.
And you know, it's got it. And two, you know, there are people out there who are making figures right now. Some people do a lot better than others. There's I don't know the gentleman's name, but he makes figures for a lot of people. And he actually does the backing boards too. Now he does something where he does like a clamshell in the little the see-through part where, you know, your figure's usually housed. So you can take the figure out, toy around with it, put it back in the clamshell, snap it, and hang it back up. That's cool. But yeah, I don't want, you know, I don't want figures. I think they're cool. I just don't know if, don't rush it. You know, if you don't have the money for it, wait. You know, the money or the demand will come. Mm-hmm. The best thing is when someone pays you to make action figures of your toy. That's the goal.
True. Very true. I mean, if you're popular enough and you know, Hasbro and Mattel comes up and says, "Hey, we think you've got a marketable property," you know, that might be something to look into.
Yeah, Brian says his setup was quoted around $7,000 before mass production.
Yeah,
they aren't cheap.
Yeah. But the figure is based on an established comic, okay, but not the first, the fourth comic of a new series, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, you know, and then if we get stars in our eyes, hey, I want to launch the book, I'm going to launch the Kickstarter, I'm going to have figures, I'm going to have Funko Pops. Funko Pops, I think the minimum is 30 grand you got to have.
Wow.
I think to get a custom Funko Pop, well, not, I'm not like from Funko themselves. Right. They will make the figures for you, but there's a certain amount you gotta be willing to put down to get it. Because come on, guys, who does not want a Vicky Volt pop on their desk? Who doesn't want one?
That would be cool.
Yeah, she's so cute.
A Lola pop.
A Lola pop. That thing will fall over. It's too top heavy.
They made a Jessica Rabbit one, so. Yeah,
but see, that Jessica Rabbit one isn't built like it is, but it's, and the Jessica Rabbit one is funny. Her head is huge, but her body is like, you know, it's funny.
So funny. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, Funko, they're very weird in that they will break their own rules. Like some characters have a chunkier body type, but then other ones have a narrow or their hands. I remember I always thought something was weird with the Silver Surfer Funko Pop. And then I realized what it's his hands. His hands are outstretched, and I very rarely see that on a Funko Pop. Brian says I would want to do them with quality. He also says, Meredith. What were you gonna? Oh, I'm sorry. I was putting up. All right, cool. I've seen stuff up there. Now, Meredith, we also have something else you're involved in here. By the way, this is the image cover for Meredith's book. That's who plays Meredith in the Meredith story. That's Kelly Who. She'll be playing Meredith in the Meredith.
Meredith does her hair and makeup.
Yeah, she'll
she can pass as a relative for sure. My sister looks more like her than I do.
The movies, you know how movies are. I mean, if at this rate, I'll be played by Kevin Hart or Will Smith. I don't know who. If I'm played by Will Smith, you can't make any short jokes. Will's tall. Kevin Hart, on the other hand, like, look at me. Everyone's taller than me. Anyway, Meredith, The other
Yes.
news you got the ICA Awards.
ICA Awards.
Here we
Yes.
go. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, so the Independent Creator Awards is happening, and it is the fans' choice this year because we didn't feel like judging anybody. 2020 was, let's try and put that behind us and all that good stuff. So we really wanted fans' choice and making sure that people were involved and having fun and acknowledging, the creativity that happened, because there was a lot of stuff that happened in as far as comic books, Kickstarter making as much money as they did, and maybe you guys know better how much Kickstarter made and how much of that percentage was from comic books. But anyway, so the ICA Awards is happening February 21st is where we're launching it through Geek Insider, and we're doing art. So right now, if you go to the group, you can vote or you can nominate somebody as far as like art and architecture. The people who draw, the artists and things like that who draw architecture. There's going to be one for landscape. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we're giving a tip of the hat to the artists. And then the following Sunday is going to be crowdfunding hosted by Varian. And then the 7th is going to be Chuck's Shop Talk. So Chuck Pinot, and of course, with the editor that he is going to be hosting the show with words, so scripts and things like that. So and then it's going to close out with Creation, hosted by Comic Book Advocates Network with Mr. Rob Anderson. And on the last day, we're going to be doing a segment of In Memoriam. So anybody who is in comic books who passed away in 2020, we want to acknowledge them. We would like to have a nice presentation with them. So anybody who kind of was in the comic book industry or in the realm or influenced comics, we're going to have a small segment with Chadwick Boseman because of Black Panther, as well as a few other creators. So we'll be closing out the show with that. And so I definitely want everybody here to head over to the Independent Creator Awards group, follow it, and nominate some people. We've got a lot of polls in there, and voting has already started. And there are some closing dates. So if you go over there, make sure that you get your vote in on time.
And we the other night we were talking about award shows, and sometimes when you do them, if they are worth it. And sometimes, especially after the year we had, I think that it's nice to be acknowledged for work that you've done, because some people, it was really hard to put something out in 2020. It was a lot of people put their nose down and started working and creating, and that was cool. Good evening, Marvin Wynn, says Heroinberg. Yeah. Trish says Superman's first action figure was released 10 years after its launch, and that's a good comment. Just saying, yeah. And Gigantus Comic Con says you can do a minimum of $5,000 for repaints for Funko Pops, but if you want something custom, the minimum is $30,000. Ships from China take 6 to 9 months. Price it out before. Yeah, see, $30,000 is the minimum. Y'all give me some money so I can get these Vicky Volt Pops done. And there she is.
Hey.
She's popped in here. Hello, Nita.
Hi.
I love those headphones.
Oh, thank you. They're my favorite.
Yeah. I tried to get a pair of headphones, and I begged I was like, which one should I get? And I didn't want to wait, so because the ones I wanted were online, and I'm like, I have to wait 2 days. I want to go to the store tomorrow and pick a pair up. So yeah. Did you catch that last bit about the I put the woman up top. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Oh, wait, why is that not working?
Because I just tried to do it.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. Brian says, "Hell, Nita." Yeah. Did you catch any of that, Nita, about the awards and everything?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What do you think about award shows in comics? Have you ever been nominated?
No.
No.
No. I'm yet to be published in a comic book. I have something in the works soon. I don't know how much I can say about it or what I can say about it right now. But I'm not the biggest fan of award shows, period.
Mhm.
So, but you know, I'm game. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna vote. So,
Well, how do you feel about it, Varian?
Award shows. I like award shows. I like award shows when they're done well. I like award shows when they are not. Hey, I want to give my 7 buddies awards.
popularity contest.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what a fan-based one seems to be to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So-
what about you? How do you feel about awards? Award shows.
Award shows are fine, but again, if it's a popularity contest, I'm against it. It should be fair, not, hey, let me get all my buddies together, I have 5,000 followers, and go do it.
Yeah. If you can get it done on merit, you know, like what I've done, people actually like it and they want to, you know, and they want to recognize me for what I created, that's great. But if it's just to, you know, hey, you know what, this person, because I seen someone very recently, when they knew an award was coming up, this person became saccharine sweet online. Now, this is a person who she knew exactly what the hell she was doing. All of a sudden, it was about everyone else in the industry and how selfless, you know, she was. And it's like, no, you're not. You are the Antichrist. But yet, at this point, she was like, I love everyone. And oh, by the way, look, I'm I mean everything. Look, I'm giving blood for money that I'm gonna donate to you know, the artist league. She didn't do that, but she was, I mean, it was really bad. Like everything was for like, I'm like, I remember one point saying, fuck, just give her the award, just so she'll shut up. And we called it, and that's exactly what happened. It's a Page Alfred, it's a low indie princess. Popularity contests are sucky. Now, IndieVote has an last year we planned an award show. We obviously, it was 2020, nothing was going down. But you know, the ICA awards have been affiliated with the second year now. And you know, I think that there are some points where award shows are nice. And I do like the fact that it's fan choice. That can be exploited though, you know, and that's the risk, because again, you know, somebody runs in with 3,000 followers. Hey, everybody, go vote, and you know, go for this person. Okay.
Fans' choice wouldn't be a problem if you were allowed one vote per category, but the being able to vote for everyone, everybody's like, it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that it would be more on merit and not just the fans going in there just click down the line.
Well, what do you think, Randy?
Well, I agree with what you and Krista say, that if it's a fan choice, if it's on merit, that's great. If it's on a popularity contest where everybody's calling up their buddy and say, hey, go vote for me so I get this award, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, especially with the larger awards, we've been seeing a lot of that. I've been seeing a lot of that happen in this industry, and it's not a good thing to see.
Yeah.
With the and anybody who knows me, I mean, with Liberty Distribution, I took years researching how I was going to do it. I did the same with the awards. How our award, the IndieVote awards, will work later on is the people who vote will be curated. Basically, we're going to take a group of people, and they will be working in the industry. They will be people who have done stuff, you know, comics, you know, coloring, lettering, editing, and they will be the panel that votes on these things. Because again, you know, if I asked everybody in the house to vote for me, my son, who doesn't read my comics, he can't read. He can read. He can't read my books. He'll be freaked out in the head. What is this? But he shouldn't be able to vote. My friend's kids should be able. My cousin, who does not read comics, shouldn't be able to vote for me because I'm her cousin. But at the same time, I understand why you would do that. I mean, and I think that I know that Rob is I don't know why he does it, but I know it puts us under the stress of this award show. I know that he's constantly watching for exploitation of the rules, and I can appreciate that. I just don't know why he does it every year. Like, why do you want to get some gray hair? You got enough stress going on. Why? But I respect the fact that he does want to recognize people in the industry too. And the cool thing about being fan choice is that you can nominate whoever you want. That is cool as well, because there are people who.
I think the nominations, though, those are really based on merit too. So if there's a page, like I was saying with Geek Insider Art, there's a poll up for best architecture as an example. Somebody, you've got to if there's a comic book and you say, hey, they have like great buildings. I mean, it's like you're there. Take a snapshot and you have to put it up there. You have to show us what that art is so that people can look at it and vote. And I think so people who are maybe nominating themselves, I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but make sure that that you're going by the rules. Make sure that if there's a call for, okay, if you're new to the industry or you're a rookie, you can't have something that you published in 2019. These are for 2020. So, I mean, there are going to be a lot of things that are nitpicked to make sure that they fall within the guidelines and that they qualify for those awards.
Yeah, again, and we are giving away an award for crowdfunding. Indie Vote is giving away one through the ICA Awards, and or I guess I'll read that through the ICA, because the ICA Awards are like saying DC Comics, isn't it? Detective Comics. Paige says, just going to do a quick plug. Please look out for my new comics and previews January 23rd. Chess #1 and Blowtorch #1 from Second Sight Publishing. Yeah, that sounds cool, Paige. Check that out in previews. That has I don't have anything to do with previews, but they're the competition of My Beautiful Liberty. No, they're not. They're not competition. But I do think that when you do award shows, the people who are a part of the board need to have their finger on the pulse and be watchful of what's going on, because the opportunity for exploitation is huge. We just had a big video game award show a couple weeks ago, and it was the fallout from that was horrible. In fact,
horrible. Me off.
Yeah, the thing was, Lola sat there and watched, and we're watching.
I was yelling at the TV.
Yeah,
that's how bad it was.
Now, when I do that for a basketball game or a football game, I'm wrong. I'm crazy. Could you please be quiet? But the award show, her,
I was laying on him yelling at the TV.
Yeah. It was, and the game that won. I'm like, I have that game. I haven't opened it yet. Everybody, The Last of Us Part 2 took home.
No, you went and bought it after the award show.
No, I bought it before. I bought it a week before.
No.
Yeah, I bought it a week before. No, I didn't buy it afterwards.
He hasn't played it yet. We got better games to play.
But it took home like a bunch of awards, and in my opinion, it took home the award in categories it did not deserve to take those. It didn't deserve. I mean, it'd be like, best game on the phone. Last of Us Part 2. It's like, it's not a mobile game. What the hell? And nobody said anything. They was like, give them the award, let them leave. That's probably a bit of a popularity contest, though. And two, there were better games that I thought deserved some recognition. Sometimes, though, the nomination's enough. In some cases, being nominated is pretty cool, because I remember getting nominated for an award back in school. I didn't win it, but being nominated was cool. You know, I got a chance to stick my chest out for like 3 weeks. And then, I knew I wasn't going to win. I knew it wasn't possible. But
believe it or not, I won an award for art show.
Oh.
Yeah. That's when I was actually drawing, and I won.
Awesomeness.
I will tell you guys this. I used to enter the General Motors calendar contest. My mother's plant, they had my mother and father worked at General Motors there. Every year they'd have a safety calendar contest. You have to draw like, and the thing is they sent you home. They sent this specialized paper. And it was this waxy as shit, like the paper. It was waxy. You had to draw hard on it. But I remember winning. I remember losing for the first couple years, never even getting in there. And then I think it was 5th grade. I won first place in my age group. And the prize was always, they brought you out. They gave it for a luncheon, and they gave you $500 Jeffrey dollars, which, you got to think $500 Jeffrey money, by the way, anybody listening that's too young, is money you can only spend at Toys R Us. It was like food stamps for kids because it was like these little colored bills. Like, yeah, I got $500 Jeffrey bucks. And I won. And then after that, I kept winning every age group until they decided one year, they said, listen, they told my mother, they said, your son can't enter anymore. And they said, because he keeps winning, and we've had complaints for the last 2 years that he keeps winning. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give him the Jeffrey money. Because by this point, I'm like 16, 17. I got video games to buy. Let's go. Kids, don't put your damn fingers in light sockets. Come on. Whatever. I didn't care. And I started being real cruel. So the one I won with when I was 15, had this lady. She was holding roses, and there was a guy looking down, and but you notice the shape they were looking in was this hexagonal shape with all these hard angles, and then they're all wearing black. And then I write at the bottom of it, this family reunion was brought to you in part by a kid with a loaded gun. And so I started going through all this because when you realize that you're in the coffin looking up, and a kid with a loaded gun either killed you or was you or the kid. And I started doing weird mind trippy shit like that. And my mother should have had me checked at that point, but she didn't. But they stopped giving me the award. They told me, here's the money. This is your last year entering. So when I was 17 and 18, I could not enter. And that was BS. I should sue. Then I ended up working for GM after that. So, I took that as that was the bomb for my crushing my artistic spirit. Because you can't draw while you're working at GM. You're at work hours and hours and hours every day. You can't come home and draw. Meredith, your campaign from Indie Vote Radio, you are shipping that. Are you shipping that internationally, are you?
No. And the reason why I didn't add that, and I might, is because the shipping costs are really prohibitive.
Yeah, I gotta send a package to England, and it's gonna cost me around $80.
Can you tell what the package is?
One of my fans bought one of my old bras, so
nice.
I can get over to England. Mm-hmm. So it's in a small little box, but it's gonna cost me like $80 to send, and that's how much he paid for the bra. So I don't make any profit.
Right. And that weighs hardly anything.
It weighs nothing.
Oh my god.
It's just big, but
no. Well, I get that.
Yeah, $80 a shipping.
Yeah, I mean,
that was during the holidays, so I'm hoping that that was just holiday prices.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll see. Somebody's shipping it off at the end of the month.
The only thing that I could hope for is eventually maybe Liberty or Terraform to have a partnership with a printer overseas.
Yeah, I had recently went overseas to print some books. First time I'd ever done it. Got a ridiculously good deal. And then the bug started, and I remember it was like in September. No, it was November the first time that I was told there's something wrong. We can't ship your stuff. We're all getting sick over here. And I'm like, ship my books, you're lying. And then I started watching the news and stuff started happening. And I remember there was quite a bit of fallout in my company because I'm telling people, hey, the books are not coming. They're late and there's nothing I can do about them. And people were getting mad. They didn't want to understand. I remember Randy was there with me for a lot of that, and I was telling him what was going on. And I'm now hesitant because of that. I'm now hesitant to print outside the country. But like you said, though, for customer delivery, hopefully it works. I just ordered a book from Glenn Fleming, his comic book Golden Age book, and it's supposed to be here Friday. It has not shipped yet, but it hasn't. But I'm pretty sure. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how Amazon, if they print it on their side or how that works.
I got a book coming from the UK too.
Well, see,
So I'm waiting on that.
You guys have Prime too, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait the 8 weeks that I have to wait because I don't have Prime. To have it
Oh,
shipped.
this is one of our viewers sending me one of his books. He wants me to promote it, take
Cool.
pictures with it, put it on my site, help get the word out there.
What are you gonna say,
See,
Mary?
and I think that's the difference, like with my book, because it's an anthology fiction. You know, it's not a comic book. So I have every intention of putting that baby up on Amazon, and that can go across multiple places. So, there's Amazon.uk. They can order the book if they wanted to. So, I mean, the Kickstarter, again, the reason behind the Kickstarter is to help offset the cost of art so that I can get that process, so I can continue with that process. I've already invested a few $100 that, I mean, I have a $750 car, like literally. I spent that much, in art for these 8 pages and have the guy waiting for more. And I was just like, I need to make some money, dude. So this is to help offset that and continue that process. And just hopefully it gets to a point where it's a well-oiled machine and, with other Kickstarters that are happening and things like that. But again, I don't want to launch another one until this one's delivered. The book itself can go on Amazon, so anybody who wants it can. And then the PDF version, or maybe just the comic books later on as they are developed and ready to ship. That's what I want to do. I want to have a product that's ready to go before I launch a Kickstarter.
Right. Yeah. Rebel Gamers as well, though, we all know it costs a lot. That shouldn't stop you. People really want it. They will pay the shipping. Why deny them? It's money left on the table. Yeah, but again, it's rough, like Meredith said, because now you got to go around to a different page. He says, okay, you keep thinking that, but I can tell you I doubled my funding when I allowed it worldwide and people pay whatever shipping costs I assigned. Oh man, I just don't want to get stuck with having to send. I've been in a situation where I've charged too little for shipping before. And
didn't Ennis get in trouble with shipping?
She took it. She got bit a little bit on the shipping. I'm not sure. Yeah. I know it didn't derail her campaign, but it was shipping because it just jumped up out of nowhere. No, I mean, again, I wouldn't hello, how do you feel about artists not getting conventions and selling work online? We all have to kind of adapt.
You got to make your money.
Yeah, we all had to adapt. It was like, oh, no conventions? Okay. How am I going to reach fans now? I don't have many prints. I went into doing prints reluctantly because prints, everyone can draw a cool Deadpool. I was like, well, how will mine stand out? So I started doing a lot of parody pieces. And those worked for me. and those continue to work for me because I got one I've done that I'm pretty well known for. It's the Boondocks, Huey and Riley Freeman meeting Dennis the Menace, and people tend to look at that and they're like, "Oh, that's funny. I like it," and they'll buy it. Plus, my prints are priced at like $5 to $6, depending on what city I'm in, so they're cheap. But my main focus is comic books. So the store is still selling books, and that's fine. But yeah, I wish people would. I wish we could get a couple of Comic Cons back safely, of course. Pete says, I have a sketchbook and don't like mailing it out. Yeah.
Can I just say, speak to something that Rebel Gaming said is that, leaving money on the table and stuff like that and establishing shipping costs and, making the money. And I think that's well and good, but I also know, like for me, it's my personal circumstances. This is the first book coming out of the gate, whereas I know that he's got several books out there, so again, it's almost like I'm at the hurry up and wait point where if I got, or I should say, when I get to a point where I have other back issues and I can make it a nice package that's worth that shipping, then that is something that I would definitely open up to. I mean, I have no problem going in there and creating a new tier for international and then charging, those crazy shipping costs. But me as a consumer, I would never pay more in shipping than I would the book
product.
Ever.
What would be the price for international shipping? Rebel, if you can answer that, how much did you charge for shipping?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious, but again, I know that he's got a lot of books that he can kind of say, hey, I'll put in a package deal or something like that, and it makes it seem worth it.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. If you can add more in, but then that sometimes increases the prices of shipping. But you got to make sure those international customers are getting the best value for paying that heightened shipping. Pete says, I have a sketchbook and don't like mailing out. Pete, are you talking about you have a sketchbook that other artists have drawn on that you're shipping out to people? That can be very risky because I know someone who did that and they haven't got their sketchbook back, and they've got sketches from Neil Adams, the Cupid Boy, not the Cupid Boys, the oh gosh, I forget, the Ramita Jr. They've got a bunch of prints. They got art in there from different artists, and they sent it to an artist online that they really liked, and they haven't got that back yet.
Oh no!
Yeah, Pete says his sketchbook is worth hundreds.
Yeah, so yeah.
And the insurance is a cost. Pete, I would recommend you not mailing that around.
Yeah,
especially if it's if you've got sketches in there from big people, don't do it. Just don't do it. Just wait and be patient and let things pass and conventions come back.
Unless you can commission the piece from the artist and just that way,
and then tape it into the book. I've got a sketchbook where I've got a few pieces like that.
Yeah.
Got a Ramona Fredon Plastic Man I'm particularly proud of. I bought at the show from her, and didn't feel right asking her to sketch in the book. I just bought one of her sketches and put it in the book.
Yeah. That's cool. I got a Ramona Fredon art book here. It talks about her career and her history, and I was one that Randy I took a picture of it. I was in the bookstore, and Randy says, "How much is it?" And I said, "It's like $12." He says, "You need to buy that." And I bought it, and I like it. It's a pretty good book. Rebel says, from Canada to other parts of the world, about $20. Average is about $20, but you don't get to decide what is worth it. The buyer does, right then decide. He makes a good point. Yes. Well, no. He's saying you put it up there, let them know that it's $20. Let them, they don't want it.
Let them decide if it's worth it.
Yeah,
they'll pass on it. He makes a good point. I think that it's just sometimes that can be prohibitive, and we kind of look at ourselves and say, because I sat in the Wizard World panel, and the guy said, "Okay, so imagine this: your favorite character, the coolest image of your favorite character ever, on a T-shirt. Okay, how much do you want to pay for it?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, what's Wolverine? And it's a cool image. Okay, I'd pay $20." He says, "Okay, now take that and split it in half. That's how much you're selling your T-shirts for.
Put your independent character on it.
And I was like, what? I was kind of hurt about that. Let's look at some of the other people though. They're like, let's see here. Grandpa's Comic Con says international shipping international is about $1.50 per ounce. Grandpa's Comic Con also says standard cheapo comic book would be about 10 to 12, I would guess. Graphic novel, double that at least. And then Grant says, I would not pay $12 for shipping on a regular comic book. And see, that's where some of that comes into play. Like I've seen it's been leveling out lately, like $5, but the books are usually like 30. So I think what's happening is they're putting the shipping in the book, and then $5 shipping. Oh, it's not that bad then.
Right.
Meredith, you got quite the debacle. Yeah, I mean, quite the pickle you're in. You got to do something. What are you gonna do?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be huge.
I have no problem adding an international thing. It's just I want it to be fair, not so cost prohibitive.
Mhm.
I mean, he does really make a good point, and I did go back and forth between that. But then again, my thinking is maybe the next Kickstarter when I have a comic book that I'm going to present, because this one's going on Amazon. And so if they really want a physical copy, they're going to be able to order it through their local Amazon. So you can get it through England. You can go to, Amazon.ca for Canada and all that stuff. So I don't think Amazon has that option for comic books, at least not to print them well.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Herrenberg said, hey guys, RJ at Critical Blast, where we mod, is developing a company called Critical Blast Logistics, which allows overseas crowdfunders to get their books cheaply to U.S. customers. That sounds pretty cool. Send me some information on that, Herrenberg, to my Facebook. I'll look into that and I'll report. Yeah, I'll report back to everyone here on IndieVolt. That sounds pretty cool. That could help a lot of people. Grant says, I don't know. I've heard some. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Randy.
No, I said I'm just agreeing with you. Absolutely, it could. Just goes to show you that in this market where there's a need, if you have that entrepreneurial spirit and you see it pop up, and you fill that need, you make up pretty good.
Grant says, I don't know. I've heard so many horror stories about international shipping derailing otherwise a good Kickstarter. Yeah.
Gotta be careful. Yeah.
Rebel says, every time I get a book, I have to get them from the States. It's always at least 12 shipping, usually higher. I get Lady Death, and it's $24 in shipping I pay, and I do it with a smile on my face. But you understand the industry, so you understand what's going on. Some people are like, well, how much for shipping? I can't do it. Nita, you mentioned that you don't know if you can discuss your book. Is it because of the publisher or because of the
Meredith?
I see. Okay, all right.
I've twisted her thumbs just a little bit.
Okay, I just didn't want her to feel like she couldn't talk about her project here. She could if she want, but I mean, if there's a reason,
you absolutely can if you want to.
Okay, so I wrote an erotica prose, and broke it down into a script and sent it to Meredith, and we're working on something together. So
cool.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Nita, were you here yesterday? We were talking about the gentleman who added accoutrement to his book. He made an interactive erotic comic.
no.
Yeah,
he did, and he's upset because it's been kicked off of
What do you mean
Kickstarter.
by interactive?
Yeah, that's like, come on, man.
exactly what you think. Interactive.
Wow.
Yeah. It comes with
Accessories.
yes, it comes
Accessories.
with
Oh my god.
Accessories. What? Well, my. I don't mind accessories. It was just like I just don't want to see like the dude on video. Maybe.
No. This is it comes with a
Accessories for guys.
yeah. It comes with
Wow.
and
you can interact with per page.
Exactly.
I
Oh
feel
wow.
bad
No.
because the guy's wife made mini skirts for the
Accoutrement.
the accoutrement. She made mini skirts that looked like the character's mini skirt in the comic. But unfortunately, because he went to crowdfunding, he's been kicked off of Indiegogo with it. Oh no, Indiegogo wouldn't approve it, and Kickstarter removed it. He's sitting with 80 of these boxes in his garage.
I told him he needs to sell the comic without the add-on, and then put an ad in the comic for it.
Right? There you
Then
go.
he can sell it to them directly.
Yeah,
It's not a bad idea.
yeah. I mean, you know, they'll get the book. They'll say, "Oh, now I can." It's like buying a movie. You're like, "Oh, this is cool. Oh, look, they got 3D on here. I need to go buy a 3D, you know, DVD player."
Well, I mean,
And
on
For the
Indiegogo,
true
they have
interactive
those-
experience, you're going to want this.
Yeah.
They have the secret tiers on friggin' Indiegogo.
They wouldn't let that stay
That
secret.
wouldn't
wouldn't let
slide
that
over
stay.
there either. No.
Meredith, I'll send you the link to the to the accoutrement, because he bought 80 of them, and the problem is that then he remade them into, you know, his
Okay,
he
so
retrofitted them into what he needed them to be.
how do you guys feel about that with crowdfunding kind of in a way gatekeeping? I mean, for the most part, we're adults.
Yeah, but there's adult and then there's adult.
I put the link. I'm putting the link in the private chat. That's what he bought, and he had his wife make a mini skirt.
Wow. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah. Meredith is like lost, like what?
I'm looking and I'm like, I've seen better looking ones actually.
Right?
Could have made this a little bit more pretty.
Yeah.
That's the mini skirt.
Yeah. Yeah, so the mini skirt is on there, and it comes with the comic. He only has that particular one's going to be the $80, or it's $100 tier, because you get the book and you get that. It's all shipped together, and it comes in. It you get it, and you get to reading your book and enjoying yourself.
And how many pages is this book? Because I'm not spending $100 on that.
It's a 60-page book.
Oh, okay.
60-page book. You know, and he was excited about it, and he's really upset. He said, "Any tips? Where can I sell my product?" And he reminds me of the guys. You remember the guy? I can't remember what he was selling, but he had an infomercial to come on at night. He's like, "Please try my product." He reminds me of that guy, like holding up one of these things, like, "Please read my book and try my product."
I like Randy's idea, putting an ad in the back of the comic book, and if people want to go for it, go for it.
Yeah.
As for me, I would never do an interactive erotica, maybe a choose your own adventure type thing, but no.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Interactive.
So if you choose the wrong page, you have the wrong thing happen to you.
I'm all about it.
Bobbit page, the Lorena Bobbit page.
Yeah. You know, but I did want to say there is something interesting about that one, though. It is the naming of it is blank and blank, and I'm like, I thought they had the same name. I thought we just called that. I thought that. Anyway, yeah. Never mind.
You can't say the name.
The thing says the.
It is. I think it was pretty creative. I mean, the name of his book.
Yeah. No, not the name of his book. The name of the accoutrement that comes with it.
Yeah.
The listing says it's a V and P, and I'm like, isn't that the same thing?
It's more like a VNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless whoever made that thinks that the A is the V. Never mind. All right.
In which case they're a little turned around.
Yeah. Or I'm turned around, and that's why I've been doing it wrong all these years. That could be the case too.
Should we say the name of his book again, or no?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's from Jolly Roger Comics.
Jolly Roger.
Yeah.
Isn't that an awesome name for an adult, especially with an accoutrement such as that? You go out and have your own Jolly Rogering.
We are I guys, I'll tell you this, it's an interesting book, and he wants to come on the show as well and talk about it, but hopefully we'll be able to get him on too. He wants to clear this up, but let's see here. Grandpa's Comic Con says, I once had to ship a plaque for a film festival to Iran. That was tough. Had to do it 3 times, and a third time through the U.S. Embassy in Iraq, and the guy picked it up somehow. Wow. Rebel Games says, was that guy doing comics or porn? There is a difference. Grandpa's gonna say, I had to get
that's one of those thin lines, Rebel Gaming. That it could be both.
Harold's says at Rebel Gaming, Fantagraphics had Eros comics, and some of the Penthouse Comics features had amazing art. It can be both, although Kickstarter Indiegogo doesn't have to take adult stuff. Yeah, and then this particular thing, you know, guys, I mean,
they don't take adult stuff. Mark also had to lean back on his state representative, Debbie Stabenow, in order to get that plaque over there to Iran.
Yeah. He says, sure, but it changes mediums where you start adding accessories. Then it becomes more about the fact of masturbation than it is about the work of a comic. You know, can imagine, like,
you can masturbate without the toys to a comic.
Yeah.
That's all the more reason to promote and sell the comic first, and then offer the extra as an ad in the back. Yeah.
Of course, you know, look, I've been known to take a stash of comics in the bathroom with me. I've been known to do that. I can imagine. Could you imagine that, Lola? I pick up that book, like, and the accessory. I'm going to the bathroom. So you guys later.
Lost all discretion.
Yeah. Well,
how would you explain that to the kid? I mean, we just had to explain kind of what condoms are. We lied to him about it.
How do you lie about condoms?
Well, it wasn't totally a lie.
It wasn't totally a lie, but we didn't want to give him.
He asked me what it was, and I'm like, that's a condom. It goes from your penis.
That's a banana cover.
Yeah. He's like, oh God.
You practice on a banana. It's really not for that.
He's 10.
Yeah. He's 10.
Yeah.
It's be about that time, y'all.
Yeah.
Getting there. Yep.
He has the mentality, though, of like a 7-year-old, maybe. So it's not time yet.
In some cases, sometimes he's like, you surprised me.
It could be Trish. We're not sure.
He's autistic, so we're waiting on that.
I think he has Asperger's, because, like, I've had people come over and they'll talk to me. They'll come to me and say, "I thought your son was autistic." I'm like, "He is." I'm like, well,
he's very verbal.
He's verbal. He talks whole conversations. I'm like, but you don't see him when he acts up. When I
have Asperger's, and so does our 11-year-old son. And 90% of the time, he seems like a perfectly functioning child, with the exception of some stimming behaviors. And then other times, he has complete meltdowns.
Yeah, same here.
Ours is super violent.
Yes, ours too.
He'll get violent and start swinging, and now we have
destruction, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's only his property, though. As long as he doesn't destroy my shit, we're okay.
Well, the walls are
mine's hitting the walls now.
I've been doing that, kicking, punching the walls. Yep.
Let's see here. Tara versus 6 words. Tara, Witch of the Black Rose. 1 word, trash. Have you ever read it? I have. I think they're talking about someone's book about gay pirates. Okay.
I'm lost on that one.
Yeah. Well, all right. Someone has a book about gay pirates. No, I'm not sure they are. But I think I can't wait to read your book, Nita. What, you know what's going to be called yet?
No, not really. I'm going to let Meredith title it.
Okay.
That's what I do. I send Meredith words and make her label it. I do it on the blog too. I'm like, here's a blog, and she has to type it for me.
we all take advantage of Meredith. You know, hey Meredith, help.
God, when you word it that way, you make me feel like shit, man.
No, trust me, she invites it.
I'm a fool.
No, I do. Meredith is one of the most organized people that I know, so it's cool when I get the chance to ask her something, and then she's been going through Indie Volt's YouTube thing and getting it all straight for me.
Speaking of books, up there.
Yeah, that's logo for Laura.
For the book that I'm working on. The script I sent you, Meredith.
No one can hear you, woman. Unblock your.
You might mute me. But that's the logo for my book that I'm working on.
Oh, I like it.
It's called Lore. All that has a meaning. The envelope and everything. It's all has a meaning. Ties into the book.
Nice. Some things that I'll have to do, go over it and redo some things before she releases it. But yeah, you know, that's when it tests our marriage, you know, because I'm like, okay,
you're not gonna do anything.
God,
it would be fixed.
Well, I think Nita does the same thing with C, because she's kind of breaking in. I mean, she and I are kind of breaking in together, and C's already got some art credits or sketching credits and things, and it's like that whole dynamic of, you know, what are you working on? It's like, shut up, work on your own stuff.
We've actually come to that thing. You do your thing, and I'll do mine. We're separate. And I already told him Meredith is my editor.
Ooh.
So there, we put that out there.
Meredith breaking into the editing game.
I've been editing like words for a long time. Why not comic books?
Yeah, she's already edited a bunch of my stuff already. So,
you know, we had someone write in and say that they wanted to they think there should be, you know, what an editor needs to have. And boy, man, the people comment on that. They were mad. They were mad. They didn't like that at all.
Keeping things separate. My book is separate from his. Like, Last Call is our one publishing company, but my erotic stuff that I'm doing is going to be under my company.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm keeping it separate from him. He has no say so. I run things past by him, but he has no say so. It's already at the artist. He has no say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing I'm talking about is like, you say, okay, well, this doesn't look high res. Could you fix that? And this logo needs to be did this way. Could you do that? But you know, I find that again, you got to step back and let somebody have their own. Even if you know what they're doing is it's gonna bite them in the ass. Sometimes you gotta let them experience that. And you know, you can say, see, I had you done this, this wouldn't have happened. And because that's the way sometimes you have to, it's been done to me. You know, I want to do this. Okay, go ahead, watch what happens. And
you know, if you have a working relationship like that and it works, great. But if not, it's like you know, save your marriage and don't do it. Not everybody can work together, so having that those boundaries is really nice. Okay. So C says we do our own thing until
bye.
Does the sentence sound okay?
Yeah.
And Trish was on Backer Pause this morning, and her insights are great because she's coming at us as a consumer, you know. So a lot of her insight is really valuable.
He's getting an angry text right now. Yeah. He's getting a text message.
It's like, see, why are you watching Geekgasm?
I know. I should call his boss right now.
Yeah.
Get back to work. What are you doing?
I believe he's watching YouTube. Guys, we've actually gone over a lot of time, but we are going to shut it down. Nita, where can people find you online?
Right now, I have blogs over on wildoneforever.com, and I can be found on Facebook. And Haps TV, I'm doing the most pathetic vlog you guys have ever seen. So
don't believe her. It's awesome.
It's true. No, it's true.
We got to check it out now. We got to check it out. We said that's at where?
HapsTV.com.
Okay. All right. We'll check that out. That's
no.
I'm going to now. Randy, where can you be found?
I'm on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. I'm on Twitter under Randy Zim. Do the Zim Geek channel over on YouTube, ZIMMGEEK, where I give cartooning instructionals and talk about the comic industry every once in a while. So go over there and like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. I promise there's more videos coming shortly. Other than that, I'm here on the Indie Volt Network. In fact, you and I will be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. or not 8 a.m., 9 a.m. For the Breakfast Buzz. We'll talk more about the comic industry and the fun things that go along with that. So it's 9 a.m. Thursday mornings. And then also on Sundays at 9 a.m. in the morning, I do a comic talk program where we talk about the more lighthearted and whimsical side of comics, the fun stuff, the stuff that's really entertaining that you lose yourself in, whether it be Undergrounds or Funny Animals or whatever alternative books or Golden Age books or whatever. And that's on the Sunday Funnies. That's at 9 a.m. on Sundays here on the Indie Volt Radio Network.
Speaking of Indie Vote Radio, Randy, right now 46,334 listening live. Thank you, Australia. Thank you, Germany. Is in there.
We appreciate each and every one of you.
Meredith, where can you be found?
Well, you can find all of my links at linktree/MEREJ99. So linktr.ee/MEREJ99. And you're going to see my link to the crowdfund, my social media links, and all the places that I blog, podcast, and links to Terraform Comics, Geek Insider, Wild One Forever, and
Did you add Indie Vault yet?
I did add Indie Vault.
Yeah, I would say last time I checked, it wasn't there.
I wrote specifically Geekgasm. So yeah, go to Linktree.
Excellent. I'll send everyone over there. And then Meredith also goes into YouTube and puts all the links up anyway. So when I say I'll do it, I mean Meredith will do it. Indie Princess, how about you?
I can be found on any social media. Just look up Indie Princess. Best way to get a hold of me, guys, though, is on Facebook through Indie Princess.
Excellent.
And I'll be back, next Tuesday for Indie Vault Live Wire at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Geekgasm.
Varian, I think you're up.
Varian Grant. I run the internet. All of it. No. I'll be back here, Randy, tomorrow morning at 9 p.m. 9 a.m. Sorry, 9 a.m. For Indie Vault Breakfast Buzz, and then I have. I think that's it, right? Yeah. Have any other shows? Oh man, scary.
We also have a great show on Monday called "It Came from Webtoons" that Michael Oden and Eric Hodson co-host about digital comics and some great digital comics and where to find them. Mostly on Webtoons, but some really exciting and very different looking stuff.
It's called "It Came from Webtoon." I am usually I popped on the show for a brief time yesterday. Monday, just for a very brief time, just to add some information in there, and got out of there as quickly as I could before I brought the whole place down.
We also have another show on the radio on Monday nights at 6.
Yeah. I'll talk about the radio.
Go ahead.
It's Indie Vote Radio on Google Play, as well as Streamer. If you have iOS, download it on Streamer, and you ask Alexa very nicely. She'll play it for you as well. While you're doing that, if radio isn't your thing, television, Indie Vote TV. You get a Roku-enabled device, Indie Vote TV. Download it. It is movie free. Got movies up there, some long form videos, some stuff that YouTube has told me you can't air that. So we took that content, we put it on Indie Vote TV, where there's a little bit, those restrictions aren't there. That's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Any final words, anybody?
Hopefully we can get Nita on next week on Wednesday if she's not busy. We can have
and maybe we'll get Trish on here too if you don't have a special guest.
Imagine we get Daphne back, Nita, Trish, Meredith, Indie Princess, and me and Randy cannot be.
Yeah.
And Lola and I know how to work the boards, you guys. So.
That's right. We can get the hell out of here, Randy. That sounds like a plan.
There we go.
Get it done, Meredith. Get it done.
I'm gonna let Meredith handle the booking. She's good at booking.
I
get to go to bed early
on the boards.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Indie Vote's Geekgasm. We'll see you guys soon.
Stay safe, everybody.